I voted for Trump and I'm sorry. I'm uneducated. I grew up in public school system. I believed anything a teacher and a principal told me, and I didn't question it, and I walked in a straight line, and I didn't use critical thinking skills, okay? I didn't read Project 2025. I have a disabled child. I'm a single mom of 3. I believed what he said in his campaigns, and I fucked up, and I'm sorry.
I absolutely appreciate the accountability. And there's been many people who've said the same thing. Like, hey, I voted for Trump and I regret my vote. Like that farmer guy. And from the beginning, I said, guys, don't give him clout because that's all he wants. He doesn't truly regret it. And I was right. He just wanted a clout. He just wanted attention. Look at where he is now. But when we see these people, let's embrace them. Let's try to keep them informed. Let's not give them hate. But also, let's not forget and accept the excuse that these people were educated in the public school system, because that's not an excuse at all. And this woman goes on to say that because of her lack of critical thinking, she didn't research into anything. She didn't fact check. She didn't even look into Project 25. She voted for him solely based on what he said in his campaigns. And girly pop, let me tell you, that's 1,000,000 times worse than researching and still making that decision. Because the things that that man said during his campaigns were horrendous. The things that he said he would do to people, he is doing. The things that he promised he would do, in ways he said he would get rid of people, in ways he said he would take healthcare away and food from children. He is doing all of that and more. So saying that you voted for him just because of what he said and not because you were lied to is a little bit wild. But hey, I am glad you're awake now, and I am glad you're on the bright side, and I truly hope nothing but the best for you and your children.
The American flag stands for compassion, kindness, liberty, justice for all. We're all human, and today I'm asking for one human act of compassion to please let my dad come home.
Quick question. Did you think that the American flag stood for compassion and kindness when you voted for who you voted for? Because let me show you something.
And the science and experience we've developed here will live on through you. On behalf of the board, the leadership team, and myself personally, thank you for your passion, your ideas, and your perseverance. Perhaps more importantly, while we assembled phenomenal individuals together as a team, we fostered an even more phenomenal culture together. While war in its current state will not continue, our culture will ensure so many of these relationships will continue going forward, both professionally and personally. Your work mattered, it still matters.
That was my CEO shutting down our entire company, where that man has dedicated his life to science and treating cancer patients such as your father. And we had to stop. All of us got laid off because of your vote. So let me ask you another question. Would you still regret your vote if this didn't happen to you personally? Because I went back a couple of videos on your page to find out where was the outrage when this happened to a child, an American child that was deported mid-cancer treatment. And what I saw on your page was you being hot. I didn't see you being outraged. I didn't see you being upset. I didn't see you speaking up. So your cry is not really regret or remorse. Your cry is entitlement. You're crying because you were told no. You're crying because they denied you. Because if they had accepted your father to stay here, you wouldn't regret your vote. You would think that your president was still your hero. Because the outrage, the remorse, and the regret should have started months ago when this was happening to other people. When this was happening to thousands of other people that also have families, that also have children, that also have wives. You didn't care back then. Now you care?
Hello there, folks. I really hope you're doing fine from whichever part of the world you're watching me from. My name is Dave KE, and this is Real Talk Black. So now we all know that the whole world is going through an economic crisis, and different people from different parts of the world are having a rough time, especially in this hard economy, trying to fend for their families, pay their rent, mortgages, and sustain themselves. But then here is an interesting discussion that I came through online. More and more MAGA supporters are now coming out openly to condemn the Trump administration and also to regret their votes for, that they cast for President Trump. So I came across a few compilations, a few videos from my TikTok that I would love to share with you and then have a really quick discussion at the end of it all. So let's have a look, let's listen in, and then I'll see you guys at the end. Cheers.
In 2 weeks, I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote?
I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump.
I voted for Trump, and I regret it now.
As a Hispanic, I voted for Donald J. Trump. Dude, I regret it so much, man.
I am regretting my vote for Donald Trump.
I voted for Donald Trump, and now I regret it.
A lot of people who were like me voted for Trump and have to account for that.
I regret voting for Trump.
So deeply regret my vote for Donald Trump.
I regret voting for Trump.
I was a dumbass, voted for Trump. It was the worst decision I ever made.
I've seen the light, and I got out of MAGA. A lot of us there have seen the light. We have deep regrets.
I feel guilty because I voted for Trump twice. I feel very guilty because I feel responsible. That's why he's still running.
I was with Trump for 9 straight years. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Trump right now.
Seeing people regret voting for Trump is so annoying to me. I thought it was going to be kind of satisfying because it's like, I told you so. We all told you. But it's infuriating because we did tell you. We've been telling you. You had him for 4 years. You didn't realize that it was probably not a good decision. He told you exactly what he was going to do. Professionals said, hey, this isn't going to be good. This is going to negatively impact you. And y'all didn't listen. You still voted for him. We had so many celebrities, so many influencers out here saying, hey, vote for Trump, da-da-da-da. And now they're all backpedaling. And it's only because it's affecting you now? You didn't care that all these other minorities were being affected, but now that it's affecting you, now you care. Well, lucky for you, we're all just screwed now. So, that's great.
What do you mean you didn't know? I am being so sincere right now because I truly want to understand how it is possible that in this day and age where we have access to any piece of information that we want in our hands, and we have 40 years of history that we can look back on for this individual, where a scenario exists that you legitimately wouldn't know. There have been dozens of women who have made allegations of SA that span 4 decades. There's video, pictures, audio, testimonies, flight logs. He has been held accountable in court for one of those essays. Where's the confusion? This is also an individual that has a history of conning people, not paying people. He's been in court hundreds of times over the last 4 decades. And I think he's lost about 92% of these lawsuits because he, in fact, does scam and cheat people. He has been found guilty of fraud in a court of law on 30 however many counts. Where's the confusion? Why are you not connecting that all of those things that span 40 years are the same exact person that is now in the White House right now? Where's the disconnect? And beyond that, where was the confusion about his policies? He told you what he was going to do. There's a 900-page manifesto. I know he said that, no, I don't know anything about that. But before the election, I asked, what is the difference between the policies that he's presenting and he's owning up to and the policies in Project 2025? I never got an answer because they were in fact the same. What he was saying out loud as the policies that he wanted to implement was what was in Project 2025. Yet we were told, no, that's not the case. How did you not know? I want to understand.
Trump is over. I'm going to be saying it every day. Trump is over. It's not a guess. It's really happening. I remind you, don't go by the electoral map. That's a distortion. Trump beat Kamala by 1.5% in the popular vote. And lots of people voted for him because he swore up and down he was going to bring prices down starting on day one. Not just end inflation, he was going to bring prices down. He's done exactly the opposite, folks. Exactly the opposite, thanks to his stupid tariffs. Oh, and all his other stupid promises like ending the Ukraine war on day one. Yeah, not even close. And of course, going back years, he said he would drain the swamp. The swamp of Washington has never been stinkier, stenchier, swampier. He has filled our government with the worst of the worst. Forget about what he says about the handful of illegal immigrants that actually are worst. He has filled our government with incompetent, ass-kissing sycophants who are every one of them highly unqualified. You think Kash Patel is qualified to be the director of the FBI? You think Pam Bondi is qualified to be our attorney general? Go back and do some research about her background. And certainly you don't think Robert Kennedy Jr. would be overseeing all the country's health issues. Not that guy, not the brainworm guy. The list, if I listed them all, would go on for pages and pages. But most of all, right now, it's the split in MAGA about the Epstein files. Don't forget, the MAGA folks were the ones who were calling for the release of the Epstein files. But Trumpy and his people are doing everything they can to block the release of the Epstein files. Gee, why would that be, folks? Why would that be? Yeah, because he's involved more than he cares to admit. And that's why, as people learn about the details of the Epstein files, oh, and by the way, the stuff that was released is just the tip of the iceberg. There's much, much more to come out. Anyway, as people are seeing the little bits that have come out, they're realizing, holy shit, Trump really is, as I've been saying, a walking piece of human excrement. And the Republican Party, which used to be called the Grand Old Party, the GOP, now we know that GOP stands for Guardians of Pedophiles. I hope that doesn't get me kicked off TikTok, but that's what they've turned into.
Farmers who supported Trump are now going on TV doing news segments, crying, saying they're emotionally distraught because ICE has taken up to a third of their workforce.
It's financially as well as emotionally. It takes a toll.
Vincent, you voted for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
He thought the Trump administration was going to focus solely on deporting criminals. It seems immigration officials, he says, are just trying to meet quotas now.
These same farmers were seen last week praying in Oklahoma at a town hall because they said they can't depend on Trump because Trump is not doing what he said he was going to do. He's not taking care of the average everyday American. Trump is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Your racist eyes and your mind forgot that you were still poor and struggling, so you voted for a billionaire who all he cares about are his oligarch friends. And now you're seeing the ramifications of your actions. So now you want to pray. Now you want to talk to the news. You didn't care when you went out and voted for the very thing that is happening to you right now. So I say, kick rocks. I hope you don't enjoy your Saturday. Bye.
So let me help you out with something here. You cannot defeat classism unless you defeat racism in this country. I'm going to point you in a direction for you to follow. You need to start with where the colonizers came from and then start working your way back to here. Time-wise, looking at the different classes of people who have immigrated here, how they were treated when they first immigrated, and then slowly became accepted to maintain the status quo prior to their immigration. So let me help you out with something here.
A woman in West Virginia who was one of Donald Trump's biggest supporters now regrets her vote for Trump because he fired her from the federal government. Just take a look at the clip.
This flag used to hang there. This was the flag Jennifer Piggott proudly hung outside her home during campaign 2024.
We had the flag. I had the shirt. I was a MAGA junkie.
A MAGA junkie who thought her government job would be safe with Donald Trump in office. She was wrong.
I cried. It's scary, you know, it's a really scary thing. And I was embarrassed.
He's a good boy. Pigott was abruptly fired last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service, based here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The reason given for the firings of 125 probationary employees at the Bureau? Poor performance.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Pigott says she's received death threats and her home has been egged.
Yeah, she had her flag out, she wore the t-shirt, she was very much in Donald Trump's corner, and now she regrets it. She would not have voted for Donald Trump again, and you're seeing this sentiment all over the country. There were a lot of people out there who voted for Donald Trump to lower grocery prices or lower gas prices. Now, obviously, that's not happening, and instead, he's firing people from their jobs and destroying the federal government. We are already seeing a lot of regret from Trump voters, and I think that's only going to increase, just like you saw there.
Are you a farmer? If you're not a farmer, you don't have to pay attention. Since I'm in the financial world, every day I read the New York Times business section. Headline today, China bought $12.6 billion in U.S. soybeans last year. Now it's $0. Almost $13 billion versus zero. Farmers ain't going to be happy. Why did this happen? Yeah, because of Trump's tariffs. That's exactly why it happened. There is no other reason. Okay, you might say, what about other countries of the world? Are they buying American soybeans? Well, let's see. Total soybean exports to the rest of the world are still down 23% this year. Now, I feel badly for the farmers who overwhelmingly supported Donnie, but just like last time he was in office and they got screwed, they're going to hold their hands out for a handout. Are they going to call that socialism? Are they going to call that welfare? No, I don't know what they're going to call it, but they're going to ask for it. Do you think that's fair? I want the farmers to do well. Truly, we can't live without our farmers. But I wish they would realize what Trump is doing, has done, and will do. To make it easy, Trump screws everybody.
I regret my vote. I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump. And now, in the first few weeks of his presidency, thousands of people are losing their jobs. I lost my job. I was the director of operations of bear studies. For the last 4 years, we've been studying whether or not bears in fact shit in the woods. And now it's gone. It's all gone. What am I supposed to tell my family? What am I supposed to tell them? If you voted for Trump, I don't even know what to say except fuck you. All the money being taken, and all the jobs being lost. I don't know what to do.
Hello there, folks, and welcome back once again to the channel. So as you've seen from the videos, then it's now evident that many of these MAGA supporters are not getting what they wanted from the Trump administration, which is kind of funny in a way, because all that President Trump has been doing is all that he had stated in his manifesto or during the campaign period. Among the things that he was talking about was border protection, deportation of undocumented immigrants, cutting down the wastage in the government, and many other more. So what we've seen President Trump implementing currently is just a few things that he had mentioned during the campaign period, which is pretty much what I would say many black folks expected, because that is what he really said he was going to do. So now when he's doing them, then now you see that it's affecting you, and then now you are all over yapping on the internet, which is somehow absurd, because I understand that most of these folks are white supremacists that were they wanted these policies to be implemented towards another group, like the black folks, black Americans, the Hispanics, the Indians, and the other communities, but not them. But now that the policies have been implemented and they are the people that are most affected by these things, then now it becomes a whole issue, and then they want to be all over yapping, which is pretty much not it, because this is what they wanted. It's what President Trump stated earlier on. So now, among the issues that he was saying during the campaign was about the ending the Russia-Ukraine war, which up to now is still ongoing. We all know when there is war in the Middle East or in some parts of Europe, then the whole economy of Western countries and even the African countries are affected by that, because we understand that majority of the wheat that is consumed in the world comes from Ukraine, and also some technological stuff that come from Russia. We are not able to get that because of the ongoing confrontations between Ukraine and Russia. We also, when we also talk about the issue of mass deportation of undocumented or illegal immigrants, then we forget the fact that most of the people that were working in the farms, in the wheat farms, rice farms, and all that, most of them were these immigrants who were somehow undocumented. So now that they are deported, the farmers do not have people to work in their farms. We recently saw the farmers, in Nebraska, crying out. The farmers in different cities crying out because they do not have enough labor to work on their farms. They do not have to and all that. We also have a situation whereby the farmers are not able to sell their products because of the trade wars and the tariffs that President Trump has been engaging in with different countries like China, Ukraine, and all that. So that, in a way, has affected the farmers too, which is as a result of the mass deportations. When we talk also about the issues of cutting down government expenditure, we have recently, beginning of 1st November, the Trump administration saying they will no longer be funding staff and EBT benefits, which then has also attracted widespread discussion online. Many families are not able to sustain themselves. Initially, it was believed that these welfare programs were there in place to support the black folks, as many always assumed. But then when it was implemented, then we now see who really depended on that. Then many of these white families are not able to sustain themselves. We have the black folks are not so vocal as much to the issues, not because they're not going through all this, but because they have in a way been resilient and learned how to cope with the different economic situations, which is not common in the white families, because they have been exposed to the white supremacy, white privilege and all that. So they, however, have been having some a head start in almost everything. So now that it's affecting everyone, then they are not able to sustain themselves. So those are some of the reasons that these white folks are here out ranting, but it's because of the same guy that they voted for. And most of these farmers are the people that voted for Trump, not once but twice. Earlier on in the years, remember the 2020 when we had trade wars going on and farmers could not sell, and then now they are here back again electing the same guy. Most of these farmers, the Hispanics, they voted for this guy. So it's just them getting what they deserve. But then it's not all about the politicians, but it's about the electorate who they vote in the same politicians different times, thinking that they would bring much change, which does not really happen. So share with me your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let's have a discussion. And also, if you're coming across the channel for the first time, please take a minute to like, subscribe, and share so that you can help me get to 5,000 subscribers. Or those who are joining the channel membership, supporting the channel through the Buy Me Coffee link, super thanks, and all that. When I see you, and I'm really grateful for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.